Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I just want to say hello to all of you beautiful souls out there and see how all of you are doing. I hope you were able to get out in nature somewhere, go take a hike kind of thing. But if you couldn't, like I couldn't today, I couldn't take a hike. I couldn't go get lost today. I really ran out of time. By the time I would have took a hike, it started to rain a little bit. So I'm like, well, I guess now I could do all the things I needed to do in my apartment like this. This is what I did when I came back home, is to set up a background for you guys. And so now I got butterflies all behind me and these beautiful lights that I recently bought for you. All that was for you. So it took me a little bit of time, and it will probably change. Today is just starting out on this. So anyway, I just did make this video, but I accidentally pushed the wrong button on my computer, and so I had to start all over again. So anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. Thank you for coming and giving me a visit. I know that title that I gave you is kind of catchy, isn't it? That's what I thought too when I came up with it. So anyway, I hope you were able to get out in nature. If you weren't, or not even be able to take a hike, that sometimes happens. The weather might not be so well like it was in my area. I hope that you're taking good care of yourself, not being too hard on yourself or others. And if you do have friends and family, I hope you're really taking good care of them. And anyway, if you are new to my YouTube, or maybe you've been watching me for a while, is if you want to find my YouTube channel, you can at Starlight, and that's Kathy with a K Dingman, and there's lots of Starlights out there, plus Starlight songs. You ought to check those out, how many Starlight songs there is. I'm somebody. That's all I know, is I'm somebody that have that many songs of my name. So anyway, if you want to know how I came up with my name, I made a video. How did I come up with the name? Like, where did Starlight name come from? So that is on my YouTube channel. And anyway, you can give this video a thumbs up. You can share it. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can ring that notification bell. You can leave a message down below. Plus, you can follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So here I go again. I hope you have your seatbelts on. We're going to go for a ride. Just kidding. Anyway, you notice the title, that's why you are here, is COVID Changed My Life. And I'm going to backtrack. Here we go. Wait, actually, we're going to go go back in time here, like a jet. So yeah, we're going back in time when COVID started. And when COVID came out, I didn't watch the news. I still don't watch the news. I'm good, because I know a lot of that stuff is not real, not true. There's a lot of funky stuff going on the news, and they like to keep you feeling lousy and like crap, really. They put a lot of negative energy, and if like, I know you were around when COVID, who could have possibly missed COVID, really? So you might have been one of those people that couldn't stay away from your TV because you wanted to find the next thing out about that COVID virus that was going around. So like I said, I don't watch the news, because I know who runs the news. There are people out there that are the ones that are controlling the world, and they're the ones that have a lot of those news stations out there. So that is why I don't follow it, is because I don't trust it. I don't believe in all the stuff that they put on there. They tear people apart that are Hollywood stars like Michael Jackson and many, many other people. Those certain Hollywood stars, if they sign that contract, if they don't do what they're supposed to do, then they have ways of controlling them by threatening them different forms of ways, to get, to really that kind of like their slave, You know, like, and I've seen so many things that happen to some of those beautiful Hollywood stars. So, but I am a starlight here. I am a star, you know, where when COVID came out, I actually had my own cleaning business. And yes, what do cleaners do? They clean germs. I should have had a bottle of bleach here with me, you know, and a rag, you know, like the, you know, so that's what Starlight was doing. She was cleaning everybody's germs in houses and offices at the time. I actually had my own cleaning business. Not only I had my own cleaning business in the daytime, I worked at a cleaning company at nighttime, an office building, where there was lots of people, office people, that were sitting at their desks at that time. So, that's where Starlight was. So at first I was scared, you know, because of the germs. My nighttime job, I said, "Shit, I ain't showing up." They weren't protecting me. I mean, I didn't have no bleach bottle with me. They gave me, you know, like a lot of times those cleaning supplies that they have at cleaning companies are not killing germs. You know, it's almost best to just, you know, like use window cleaner with vinegar, you know, so it wasn't protecting me. We had the choice of using gloves, and you know, like we could use them or not. And when COVID came out, man, I threw a pair of gloves on, and my own cleaning job for my own cleaning business, I never wore, in the beginning I did, but really, I realized wearing gloves, unless you wear them all the way up to your arms up here, those big yellow plastic ones, whoops, my hand's still here, is, you know, wearing just the rubber gloves that I normally would wear is, you know, everything, the water gets inside of them gloves anyway, and then the germs are all inside the gloves, and you sweat and all this stuff, and I'm like, you know, there's no sense in me wearing gloves because they're not going to work. They're not going to keep the germs off my hands, you know, especially when you're doing tubs. You know, like the water does get in there, you're getting your hands wet. I mean, I got to climb in the tubs, you know, or shower stalls, you know, like to clean. And so, yeah, I was afraid, but I did have a beautiful soul out there. You might want to check him out. He is a deep diver. He dives deep. Some people might not handle how deep he dives. You know, he is not for everyone. You know, really, he's the kind of guy you want to go check out if you want to work on yourself. If you are really serious about working on yourself, check him out. His name is his YouTube channel is Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart. You know, you can check him out, and he got me through the COVID time. Absolutely. You know, like, so if I'm not saying that we are going to have another COVID or another virus, but there's always that but, isn't there? But because you never know, because we are in the matrix, you never know what they're going to throw at us next. And really, without even Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart saying anything about it, is I realized, you know, on my own that it was a great test, really, is to see how people were going to effing respond to COVID, really. It's a test. Let's have this virus, which I could have created anyway. Let's throw this virus out there, you know, like where a lot of people will get sick from it and fear, you know, like all the people will be afraid and see who's going to go out and run to get those injections. You know, those are things that I came up with all on my own. And my brother, one of my brothers, you know, like here, we weren't even really seeing each other a lot. You know, like I seen him a little bit. You know, like when COVID came out, I really didn't even want to be around people because of COVID and the germs and all that stuff. And, you know, like, so it was kind of weird. I did meet up with my one brother, and we were discussing, you know, like, and it's so weird. We didn't see each other for a long time, and then we started seeing each other around that time of COVID. And, you know, I was thinking the same he was thinking. I was thinking, this would be a great weapon for like a war, like you know, like a weapon to use, you know, on people and different people or whatever. Hang on, this is what I did last time. I don't want to do it again this time though. For some reason, my camera does that. So anyway, that's what I was thinking. And it's so funny is that you know, my brother and I think a lot alike. Like I really thought he was kind of like a soulmate, not to date or anything like that, not that kind of soulmate, because that's what I thought a soulmate was, is somebody that it's the best thing that you can, the best person you can get hooked up for a relationship. No, not that, because I thought the soulmate was that. But then I found out later, a soulmate could be anybody. It could be your brother or, like the dog down the road or something like that, or your mom. It doesn't mean like a relationship kind of material, because I did learn a lot from my brother, so we had a lot in common as far as our thoughts went. We like to dive deep ourselves, like in more deeper than other people that we knew around us. So that's what we were thinking around that time, is that, and really what got my wheels turning, and I don't think I heard anything on Infinite Waters on this topic, is, like with, like it was strange that, they had the COVID virus, got everybody scared and repeat all the same stuff over and over again on the radio or on the news, and telling everybody, trying to force everybody to get the injection, and who knew what the heck the injection was about, right? You might have took the injection or all six. I think six was the last number I heard of, because I don't watch the news. I don't want to watch the news. It's too depressing for me. Like I would cry, so it really did. It changed my whole world is when COVID came, because, it saved my ass, really. I was heading in the wrong direction in my life. My cleaning business was the best out of all the years, because I've moved my cleaning business one time, that I had to move from one, like far, like an hour away, just to move where I am now to better my business, because there's more money out here. Where I came from, where I started my business, there was no money really there. It was a very poor area. You could check it out. Gloversville, New York, United States. One of the poorest areas in the United States is Gloversville, New York. That's where I came from. It's a very depressed area. And it was a good thing. It moved me out of there, and I moved out to here, out in the Albany, New York area. So, and then my business started, like really doing the best out of all the years that, that I had my cleaning business. It did the best right here. And that was before COVID. So when COVID came, I thought, hey, man, I better pay attention to that phone. I'm going to get so many calls. I thought that my business was going to go sky high, really, like where I'd have so many people that I would have to turn people away, and I always thought that was going to happen with my cleaning business, that what would I do, like if I don't have any space for them on my calendar, it would be sad for me to say, I'm sorry, but I can't accept you. I have too many clients. But that was the best that I ever did before COVID. And so I was ready, and everything went backwards. Like everything that I thought was going great, like friends, it's kind of funny, my family, different things were going on at that time, and I'm not going to go into details on that. It's just that a lot of stuff was going on around the COVID time, like in my life, and I don't know what was going on in your life, but really, I always get these numbers in Starlight does not mix. I always get 180 with a 360. So here I was going one direction, thinking, yes, you know, everything is clicking, my business is doing great, boom, boom, like I was making good money, the best that I was actually able to enjoy my money at this point, like I was actually able to enjoy it, not just to pay bills, so when COVID came, all my clients, every single one of them called out and said, you ain't coming to our house. They all were afraid, like, and I was like, huh? So my phone, I just kept on getting text messages every, like for weeks on cancellations, so it all backfired, every single one of my clients. So, and that's why, like I decided to do a whole career change, like instead of cleaning houses and, where I thought I was living my life purpose. I was really happy with my cleaning business. And you're probably looking at me with your mouth dropped like, huh? Cleaning? You were happy? Yeah. I like seeing things clean, and I was helping families actually to, where they didn't have to worry about cleaning, where, hey, hire me, where, they knew that, it's awesome. I had people that trusted me in their homes, where I dog sat at their houses, I would stay at their home for a week, dog sitting and cleaning their house, having it cleaned on, like the day that I would leave, the house got really clean. So when they came home, the dog was, I walked the dog. I even made videos with this dog, and poor thing, he passed away, so he did. His name was Dookie. I called him Dookie. But his name was Duke. He was a black shepherd. He's so old. It was his time. This family wanted to give me their pet, but I couldn't take him because I can't have doggies where I live. But I would have took him. I would have really gave him a lot of love. He was such a sweet dog. But it is sad, like he did. He passed away, but he was struggling every day, So anyway, sorry about the dog story, but he was such a sweet dog. He was a gentleman. He was more of a gentleman than I've actually known men. Ain't that weird? The dog had more manners than, some of the men I've known in my life, where I'm like, wow, you're polite. You're actually waiting for me to go down the stairs before you rush in front of me and head down the stairs. He's so cute. He was always waiting for me to go in the door first before he would go in the door. He would always wait for me to go first. Ladies first kind of deal, He's so sweet. I wanted to marry him. Just kidding. he was such an awesome doggy. And so yeah, I thought I was living my life purpose because I was like, hey, people need clean houses. Where the universe, God actually showed me that even though I thought I was very happy, hey, I was making good money, the best money I've ever made in my life, like legally wise. We won't go there. Where that was like I felt really great about myself to have my own business. I didn't have to work for another cleaning company or any other company. I was doing the best that I could I never went to high school. So, hey, I'd give myself a pat on the back. I had created my own cleaning business, and it was called Starlight Cleaning. Um, so I realized when COVID came that it really did. It had me to do like a 360. I kept on calling them 180s, but it's a 360 I did. Is I was going that way, and COVID got me to go that way. I was, it was like a huge wake-up call. And I know a lot of families, and I'm surprised. Maybe they will have a movie out there. Maybe, I don't know. I'm surprised that, they're always on top of this stuff. I could give some ideas of movies. I have a wild, crazy imagination. So anyway, even relationship material wise, like I realized that, like I wasn't in a relationship, but like I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and really the universe really helped me to see that you're going in the wrong, this is not what we want for you. This is not what is best for you. Starlight, you could do a whole lot better than where you're heading, so hang on, this does this. I am so sorry. I don't know why. But my screen gets really dark if I don't tap it every so many minutes, and everything is so different right now. I might have to redo all this. I got to rethink about how I'm doing all this. So this is just a test here today on my background and this table here. I wanted this table because I got something planned. I couldn't use my desk that I'm giving away, so I do have some plans on other videos. But anyway, so how were you, during COVID? How were you with your family? Did you fight? Did you argue? Did you have, were family members like, get out of here, we don't want you, COVID's around, or you should take that COVID shot. Go get that COVID shot, man. Did you have people like that all over you like I did? Wow. I mean, I don't know how many people were telling me. It is kind of funny, though. My whole entire family, none of them, not one. We were all on the same page about that COVID injection. None of us wanted it. There were some of them that did get it. Some of them were pressured so much, they got so aggravated, they just went and got it. Or other ones that I know of. There's only a couple that I know of that went and got it because they were gonna lose their job. And I was totally against that. Forcing people to take it, like, if you don't take this injection, then we're going to fire you. I did not agree with that. And that's why it's so important that you really stand up for your freedoms that you have. And I did make a video out there called Use Your Voice, really. We might have got through that, and maybe there's still some people out there that might be getting COVID still today. But, really think about it. If that happens again, how are you going to react this time? Are you going to let them bully you around and try to force you to do something? Because Starlight, I'll tell you, you might think I'm nuts, but when that whole COVID thing was going on, know what Starlight was doing? I was making a fort out in the woods is what Starlight was doing. That's what that whole 5D fort was about that I was creating. And, I was building a fort. I'm like, you know what? Ain't no way I'm taking that injection. Number one, where did it come from? They didn't know anything about this thing. It just poof, came out of nowhere. And now you want me to hurry up and force me to take that thing? If you've been on medication and you've had some side effects like Starlight, you think twice. I've had, they had to, because of they call it a mental illness, I call it a spiritual awakening, waking up to the lies that we've been fed, with a spoon, spooning us with a bunch of bull, in our life, telling us a bunch of lies, through our whole history of family, with our ancestors and all the way through history, lies all over. The government, the school, the churches, do the same stuff. It's in the Bible. If you've read your Bible, it says, to watch out for false teachers and preachers out there, so you're not even safe, you think running to the church is going to help you out. You might get some help in some of those churches, but, a lot of them try to take your free will away, so how is your job situation? When COVID came out, were you like me, where you lost your income or maybe a business? I really, talk about everybody just disappeared from Starlight, every single client, so I really didn't know what I was going to do, but like I said, that deep diver out there, Infinite Water, Sprout Smart, got me through it, where I was learning to let love guide you, not fear. I really did. That's why I have this here, is to love. That's what this is all about. It is to let love guide you, not fear. And like I said, I did make a video about use your voice. How did you like with the mask? Did you like wearing those masks? And were you in a store like where I was, where I felt like a little freaking rat in a cage somewhere, where I was in a maze and they're trying to, I went shopping one day and I didn't even notice. It's kind of funny. I was walking, and I always have a shopping list with me, and here I am in the store, and I didn't even realize that here they had lines on the floor of how they wanted you to walk in the aisles. it wasn't working anyway, because here I walked in the wrong way, and I'm like, oh no, I walked in on the arrow, like I'm going this way, but the arrow was pointing that way, and I'm like, ooh, and I was like, but really, it's kind of messed up how they, like they expected us to, go in that way, and then, go in that aisle. I bet you they got a lot of complaints at Walmart, where I go shopping. You know, I am not going to go up and down those. I did start off a little bit, and then I snapped out of it. I'm like, you know what? Really, what I need is all the way down at that end of the aisle. I can't actually walk down this way to go get it. I want to get in and out of the store as quick as I can. I'm not one of those people that take forever. I mean, I got my shopping list. I go by that shopping list, and I'm gone. I ain't got all day to sit here and like go through this maze to get to all the food that I need to get on my shopping list. And that's what I was running into, is that I'm like, well, what I need is all the way down at this aisle, all the way at the end, but I can't walk this way. That means I got to go all the way down to the next aisle, then go down there, and then walk back through. And the 6 feet apart. Some of you might have been fine with that, thinking, oh yeah, they're just trying to keep us safe. You wait. If this ever happens again, you got to be really smart on this stuff. Don't let them fool you. A lot of times that's what they do, is they try to make you think that it's for your safety. No, it's control. With the mask deal, I understand, like if I had to clean for a client and they said, hey, if you want to clean for us, you got to wear that mask or you're not going to make money. Okay, I can deal with that. But like imagine that they would force you to wear that mask inside the stores and outside. There was people doing that. I see. I don't know how many people would walk outside by themselves wearing a mask, or in their car with nobody in the car. There's nobody in the car, and they were wearing a mask driving around in the car. And I'm like, that is how bad that you want to keep on watching the news. That's the kind of stuff that's going to happen right there, is that, they scare the blink out of you. They keep on repeating the same messages over and over again, drilling it in your head. That is exactly what they do. They brainwashed all of us, from our families. That's why we can't blame our families for anything that they've done in their past. Like they have abused you or any of that stuff, whatever they did, really is because they've been programmed to be a certain way by their family member, and it just goes through generation after generation of all the bull that we've been fed. And like I said, I have a video out there on have you ever tried homeschooling your kids? Really, serious. Really, the best, like if you had the money that you can homeschool your kids one way or another, even if you had to, if you got a lot of little ones, that's great. All you do is need to buy from K all the way to 12, and you won't have to buy it ever again. It will be all for your kids. They got programs for computers, where you can get your kids out of the public school. The public school is not the answer. It's not the public school it's not their responsibility to bring up your kids. The government sets all this up, and there's a lot of people that love it, where they could just have a school bus come and pick up their kids, and hey, the kids are out of my hair, but really what's going on in the public? What are they, they're going to learn. They're going to learn a lot of horrible stuff from other family members and other kids that are not bringing up their kids. It's like, I wish I had them out here. I don't have them. I have a bowl of apples in my kitchen. Like if I had a whole bunch of apples out here and there was one rotten apple, that's all it takes. That one rotten apple will rot all those other apples if they're sitting next to that rotten apple. I'm telling you, want to try it out? Try it out. You probably know that the one rotten apple will rot all those other apples out. It's like having a banana. Those babies go quick hand. I don't want to push the wrong button. So yeah. My kids started off in public school because I was a single mom. I had to do what I had to do to, to do this. I didn't want my kids in public school. I hated public school when I grew up, so my kids went from public school, they weren't in there very long. And, stuff started happening. Things, once they get a certain age, maybe in the beginning it's okay. But really, when they start, different grades, boom, that is when stuff really starts happening with your kids is, they start coming home with different attitudes because they're learning it from all these other kids. You could work so hard on your kids at home, and they could be so great at home, and then you could send them off to school, and then they come home, and then their attitudes are bad. Well, it's because you're sending them out there with all these other rotten apples, people that are not bringing up their kids in a good way, people that were not taught the right way, people that were abused, and they don't know what they're doing with their kids, and they're doing the best that they can. They don't know what they're doing. There's a lot of families out there that are on some drugs or alcohol or have some mental illnesses, and they can't help the way they are, but they still have their kids. There's a lot of those kids being molested at home, and I'm sorry I use that word, but that is true, that they're being touched by their family members or being beaten by their family members or verbally abused or neglected, and they send them off to school. And those poor kids, they need to be free from all that stuff. You really, if you're wise, you would really get your kids out of the public school. Even if you had a sitter to have them home, hey, you're gonna homeschool here. Have somebody watch your kids. If your wife, really to me, if you're gonna have kids, if I could start all over again, believe me, Starlight would do a lot of things different. Believe me. I had my daughter at the age of 16 and a half. Actually, I was pregnant 16 and a half. And I don't have any regrets. She was a gift from God. Even my son, they were a gift from God. And so, you can say whatever you want. For me, being that young, not married, and all that stuff, whatever, you didn't live in my shoes, did you? They do say that, that if you can't walk a mile in my shoes, then, so anyway, I do love all of you. Is that, really, did COVID change your life? How's everything different now? How, is your job any different than it was before? Are you going to hurry up and run out there and go and take whatever injection they say? We do have our freedom, but if we don't use our voice, we won't have it, so it helped me to do a 360. That's why I started a YouTube channel. One of the reasons, besides I wanted to do this before, I just didn't know how I was ever going to be able to do that, being able to make money and doing YouTube at the same time. And I did not take that injection, absolutely not. I did lose most of my clients because of that, of COVID. So it was the best thing for me to do is to, to continue to do something else. That way, are you prepared if another COVID came? With your job and income and your kids. What if, it really would be wise if you think ahead, for the future. You think that's the last time we're going to have some kind of virus. It was a test. It was to see who's going to do what, who's going to, bow down to them and do whatever, who is going to be the ones. They're marking you. They got you all down on paper and on their computers, who took the injection and who didn't, who stood up for their rights. I can't believe it. When I went to go get a mammogram at a hospital, maybe 6 months ago or so, the lady asked me, I couldn't believe it, one of the nurses, the only one, all the doctor's appointments that I go to, or my dentist, or my gynecologist, or my regular, family doctor guy, or whatever, or lady now, she's the only one out of all the doctors. She asked me, it was part of her thing that asked me, did you take the injection? And I go, no. And she goes, congratulations. I'm like, huh? Really, you? You're telling me? Because she was on my side, and here she's the nurse. She knows about stuff. She knew that, that people should not be forcing other people to take that injection. She goes, good for you. You didn't let them, control you. And that's what it is. they learned who they can control. You know, you will be marked on that. You know, they're gonna, you know, they know that you took that injection. They got your name and number. You know, they know that if something like that happens again, more than likely you might be one of those people running out there getting the next injection. And how many again? You know, like in the beginning, you know, like what I heard, and since I don't watch the news, I heard 3 weeks, you know, like it was going to pass. My doctor said, oh, don't worry, it's going to go away. Guess what? He was wrong. He was wrong. He believed everything the news was telling him, you know, so he was giving me false information that was not true because he believed in the news. You know, if you believe in the news, then you're going to be one of those people that they're going to say, hey, look at this person believes everything we're telling them, you know, and the side effects. And did the injections help you guys out at all? I don't think so, right? Because you know what? All my clients that got the injection, except for one lady, you know, did not get COVID, but all the rest of my clients got COVID and they already had the injection. Now, I never got the injection, but I did get COVID, and that was all because I went and traveled somewhere, and I went in a motel, and I ate at a, you know, like I should never have done this, is I went and ate at a buffet, and that's where one of those two places, because, you know, I was not impressed with both of the places. I'm a cleaner, so I'm always looking for dirt. So anyway, really, you got to really think, you know, like if something like this happens again, what are you going to, if you got kids, what are you going to do with your kids? Are they going to send them home again? That's why if you have something now ahead of time, you know, where your kids could do the, you know, like you might want to change your job around, you know, like is your job going to stand the test of time of another virus out there? You know, so, you know, it would be wise to get something where they can't say, hey, if you don't get this new injection for this new virus, you know, you're going to lose your job unless you take this injection. You know, so you know, like you got to be wise and think ahead. Like and you know, like we have a voice. Tell them no, I am not going to do that. Hey, like with my cleaning business, I was ready to go out and I'm serious. I am not kidding you when I say this. I was ready. I was already working on that fort. You know, like I was ready, like, you know what? Because I was figuring like all these other places are going to make me get the COVID injection. You know, like forget it. You know, I'll go live out in the woods. I'm not going to have them control me. You know, because later on they got something else up their sleeve, and I got other videos out there. I just gotta figure out what those titles were, but you know, oh, it might be about using your voice because really, you know, like you use your freedom that you have a freedom of speech now, you know, like why you have it. You know, COVID was just a test to see who's going to squirm. Did you squirm? Did you go run out and get that injection? Or did you stay firm, you know, and just say, no, this is my body. I have a free will. You can't take that. God gave me a free will. If I don't want to take that injection, hey, you might have to go get another job. You know, and if you didn't get a, you know, like a job that they can't mess with you, you might think about getting a different job. That way you are all set. You will not have to worry about it. You know, so anyway, I know this video is getting long, and it did. COVID did change my life. It was a huge wake-up call. And I hope you woke up. I hope that maybe something I said will really make you think of really, what are you going to do? You know, like, are you prepared for another one? Instead of having a COVID virus, why don't we have a love virus? You know, like, let's send some love out there in that world. Hang on. Sorry about that. You know, send love out in the world. You know, that's what the world needs, you know, like instead of that COVID virus will be the love virus. Anyway, this is Starlight. I really hope you enjoy, and I hope you really are able to get out in nature somewhere, and you could give this video a thumbs up, you know, and you could share this video. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can leave a message down below. And don't forget, you can ring that notification bell, and you can contact me at Instagram at 1995 Starlight or on Facebook at Kathy with a K, Digman Starlight. So those are ways that you can contact me. And I love all of you. Really, you know, think ahead. Make sure you've got all your ducks in a row. Are you ready? Right now everybody's so relaxed, and but you know how they are. The people that run things around in this world. It's only a handful of those people. I would like to tell you their names, but sometimes Starlight, there's certain words I cannot pronounce, and that is one of them. I've tried so many times to say their names, but I can't figure out how to. I can't get my tongue to say that name. It's so weird how I'm made like this. There's another word that I can't just say either. So anyway, I do love all of you. I really hope you get a lot of help. This is Starlight. Love and light. Peace.